Hi everybody, how you all doing? It's Sita here, and it's been a while, quite 2 or 3 weeks I guess, since I last popped up with the Shawl Knitter Unplugged, and that's what you're watching right now. I'm just playing around with a little bit of spinning on my gorgeous little drop spindle. Don't want to unspin it. This beautiful little tool. And the last video I actually made was just a very quick 5-minute peep at a bit of spinning that I was doing. Yeah, well, it's been a rather cold winter week or month actually. July, very, very cold, very wet, and perfect knitting weather. So I've been knitting and just decided to do a bit of spinning. I've been moving around and I discovered some of my spinning materials, and I thought, well, why not? Let's get back into spinning. So, if you don't know me, I'm from South Africa, and I currently, today, actually moved into this very gorgeous house that I'm looking after for 2 months, just outside Hermanus in the Western Cape on the coast. And I will be going back to India in November to take another one of my tours. I take small, intimate tours with a difference to India twice a year. I took one in February and I'm taking one in November, which I'm greatly looking forward to. In the meantime, I'm kind of nomading around in South Africa. And in the process of that, I've come across a few of my boxes that I haven't looked into for a while, and have been pleasantly surprised to find a few half-finished projects, some shawls that I'd actually knitted and packed away, a lovely blanket, a whole lot of patterns, some of my spindles, which is quite a miracle, because today when I arrived here, I did have this lovely little handmade, beautiful Turkish spindle with me, and when I opened my suitcase, it was broken. The center spine, which is now hidden inside this turtle of spun yarn, the center spine broke. But it broke in such a way that it wasn't sort of a clean break. It was sort of 2 pieces, and I managed to push them back together and tie them up with some sewing yarn. And then I had to take off the yarn that was on the spindle, which is very easy. You just pull it off. I'm going to show you how that works now. And I tied it up. Ideally, I'd like to glue it, but I don't have any glue. And then I just pushed the ball of yarn back on, and I carried on spinning, and thank goodness that worked. But then I had a box that was packed that I hadn't opened up yet, and it said things like my knitting scale and ball winding machine and patterns, and I thought, I'm sure there are also some spindles in there. So I've just opened it up, and guess what? My spindles are there. I have another one like this, which I'll quickly just go and get it for you. Here it is. It's exactly the same as the one that I was using, but you can see there's hardly any fiber spun onto this one, and it's dark, whereas this one is a light wood. These are both indigenous, South African indigenous woods, and I really, really treasure these spindles. I was terribly upset to see that my one spindle is broken, but I think I can fix it. And in fact, I'm using it already, so that's a good sign. And I do have another one with some green fiber that is just pure merino, I think. And the fiber that I'm spinning on the other one Not quite sure what it is, but it feels like it could be mohair. It's very, very hairy. It's got very long, thin, hairy fibers, and it's very soft, and it's gorgeous. So I have a couple of spindles here that I had made a while back. I have been teaching some Turkish spindle spinning workshops in the past. So I have a few spindles made, and here is one that is naked. It's a very simple, simplified one. So as you can see, it consists of 2 crossbars and 1 central dowel. And they all fit together. There's a hole drilled in the middle, so you can just sort of move them around, take them out, and then it's just a matter of 3 simple little sticks. And I just love this fact that this tool is such a simple thing. So I had these made. They're quite rough, but they work very, very well. In fact, a few years ago, I came across a very beautiful bamboo grove, and I took some of the lovely fine bamboo. It was about this thickness, and I made a little spindle out of it, and that is somewhere. It'll be found somewhere, sometime. So on this spindle, which is just like the one I've just shown you, this spindle's turtle is now full. It's very heavy, and I'd say that there's about 35 grams, maybe a little bit more, which has been plied. So you can see that this is a 2-ply, and it's probably close to a DK, or it's a sport. Here's another one that has come off quite some time back and has also been plied. And this I found, which is quite a treasure. This is one of my very, very early spins that I did, and you can see it's very thick and quite uneven, quite overspun and underspun, and there's a couple of colors in there, and yeah, I love it. I don't know if I'll ever use it, or might be in some trim or the other, but it's here. So I wanted to show you how you get your yarn off the spindle, and why I really, really love a Turkish spindle, because once you've spun it, you take it off and you either use it as a single, or you spin another ball like this and you ply them together. So this is a 2-ply. You can see there are 2 plies there, and I'm now going to remove it from the spindle. So all I actually have to do is push out the center piece, there we go, and pull out the 2 arms, just like that, and like that. And then you actually get this beautiful ball. Beautiful, it's so gorgeous. I mean, I just love the whole design of this incredibly simple tool. But the wonderful thing for me about this is that you get a center pull, a natural center pull strand. So you can knit from the center of this ball of hand-spun yarn. So right now I'm sitting with two balls. I must weigh them. I've found my scale as well. So I've got these 2 lovely balls that are plied. It's 2-ply. This is just merino. It's very soft. So my intention is now to spin up the mohair, and I've actually got some fiber in the dye bath at the moment, and I'm going to mix it together with the cream, and I'm just having a big spinning fun time. I have some bits of fiber. I don't have a lot of fiber, but I have enough. I probably have about 300-400 grams of fiber. Some's in the dye bath, some's in another room. This is the mohair. I have some merino, and yeah, I think I'm going to be giving a couple of classes on drop spindling. I've just moved to this very lovely little village where there is a very active crafting group that I joined in June, and then I moved away for a while, but now I'm back, and maybe I can introduce some of the drop spindling. So I know I showed this to you last time, but I just wanted to get a little bit more into the details of it because I'm actually sitting here and I'm spinning. So behind me you can see, and I'm not going to take it off because it's very big, and I think you can get quite a lovely view. This is my Cecil shawl, which is so divine and very, very big, very long. You can't see the end of it. I'm just over halfway, and I measured to the center, and it looks like it's going to be over 2 meters long. This is done with a beautiful yarn. It's a singles, a fingering weight singles, which is a local South African yarn. It's a merino and mohair mix. It's got a high percentage, 45% of mohair and 55% merino, and I'm using various other single strands of mohair, as you can see here. So this is what I call an overlaid intarsia, and it's an absolutely fabulous technique. The shawl is designed by Twin Set and Pearls. The one of the twins, her name is Jo, I can't remember her surname. She designed shawls, and she came up with this wonderful idea to just pick up the mohair and add it in on top of your yarn. So, you know, you're not twisting balls around, you're just knitting along with your background color, and then you just pick up your mohair color and overlay it. And then here there is the green and the brown is overlaid, and this is the orange and the brown that's overlaid, and here's again orange and the dark chocolate. It's so beautiful. It's light as a feather. It's taken me a while only because I have really been busy doing 100 different things. It's just one of those times where I've got about 5 or 6 different things cast on, and I keep on finding bits that are half done, and then I decide to make a pair of socks, and then I start another shawl, and so on. So the mohairs that I've used here, this is actually a drops silk mohair, which is actually really nice. I wish we could get this here. Somebody brought this for me from the UK. I love this, drops. Here's another one. This is also the drops kid silk. It's really a lovely quality. I really, really like it. This is the South African African Expressions Hope, which is actually a mohair and polyamide. So it doesn't actually have silk. It's got more mohair fluff than the usual. So it's a little bit more fluffy. And then this one I think is just a mystery that I got at a wholesale shop, and it possibly could have polyamide instead of silk, but I'm not fussy about that. So all those colors are going in, and pretty soon I'm going to be finished with it. And I'm actually planning a very beautiful lace weight one, which this is done on a 4mm needles. I'm going to do the lace weight on a 3.25, and so it will also be smaller, which is fine, and out of lilacs and just gorgeous colors. I won't show you the colors yet until I actually start it. So that's what I'm dreaming about for my next Cecil. Then I have a few bags of things that I found. This, by the way, is a very cute little Japanese wrist bag that I made many, many moons ago. Nowadays I see there's a lot of them, and you can even knit them. It's where the one side is shorter than the other, and you can put it on your wrist and have your ball of wool in there and walk around and knit. I must say I'm not a huge fan of walking and knitting, but I do like this. This is my sock project bag made out of this lovely rose fabric that I picked up in India about 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, in there I found one finished sock, which was very nice to find, not just half a sock. And this is a sock that I've made before. It's a Rain or Shine from Stephen West. And I made one pair and then I was dying to make another pair, so I immediately started and I only got one done, and then of course I put it away. So I'll have to get on with that right now. It's very nice. I'm very much into Stephen West socks. I must say I did not join the secret sock along, and actually I really don't like that sock. I'm very glad I didn't do it. It's got a bit too much going on. But this is the rain or shine, so I've got another one to do. There's a whole variety of hand-dyed yarn, and let's see if I can put a little bit more light on the scene. Hand-dyed yarn in the heel and in the toe. I know that this is a blue face Leicester that I got on a D-stash, and then these are, unfortunately I don't have any labels on them, but I think these are Katia sock wool, which I really love. I've got quite a lot of that lying around, so I need to make another one of these, and I will, because it's cold and we need socks. So I've just been, oh, and look, the very nice thing is that I don't have to start it from the beginning, because here's the next one. It's ready to go. So that is something I'll have to find the pattern and get back into that. Then I have another sock that I didn't start it a long time ago. I started it quite recently. It's my second painting bricks sock, again from Stephen West, in some just absolutely gorgeous, yummy colors. This is from a local South African dyer, Big Fox, and this is called Purple Turtle. It's an absolutely stunning colorway. I don't know if I'm giving too much light or not enough, but I'm sure you can see it's got purples and pinks and a little bit of orange, and I've set it off in the bricks with black. Well, it's actually a dark charcoal. So look at that. I mean, that is just, that excites me. And then I love when you do this painting bricks on the top, the underside of the sock automatically becomes striped. So that's the underside, and it's very funky, I would say. And then what I also like about the Stephen West socks are the garter heel. This is a very nice heel. I really enjoy it. It works well for my foot. It's basically heel flap and gusset, but the actual heel is done out of garter, and then you still do the little heel underneath, and you do the gusset on the side. So this is also a lonely one sock with another one that's possibly a little bit further than my oh no, it's probably just about the same as my rain or shine. So there we go. I've got two socks that at least they're begun, because if one doesn't begin the second one, we all know what happens with that. Nothing happens with it. Let me just show you this purple turtle. It's absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite colors. And I love to use it for socks. It's just got to be, it's got to stand out on its own. So that is the main color, and then the charcoal is a mystery. It's got mohair in it. It was given to me by a friend quite some time back. So that's my sock business at the moment, and this one lives in this beautiful little bag that I have shown you before. This is called Bird Song, and it's got this russamine stitching, which looks gorgeous, but I have to tell you, I really do not like doing it. It's very tough. It's about the toughest knitting technique I know. And I'm actually knitting another shawl now with the russamine design in it. So I don't know, I guess I'm testing myself to see if I can make it. So that's my little sock bags that came to light. Then what do I have behind me here? Oh no, that is just the rest of the fibre. Then another shawl that I've got on my needles right now is the one with the russamine in it. And this is from a designer whose name I can never really remember, but let me see. Oh no, I can't look on my phone. I'm using my phone. You know it. It's called Linus, or Linus Shawl. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And it's got this band of russamine around the top, which is some flowers, I guess. Although right now, I don't know if mine look like flowers, but, and I'm about to hit the next section where I have to do the russamine. So this is so soft. It's like baby soft. It's knitted with a sock yarn that's got nylon in it, 20% nylon, and a ball of mohair. So it's very soft. I want it to be totally natural. I'm not extremely happy with my attempt, but you know, it is a hand technique, and I guess once it is it's blocked, it will all sort of plump up. I'm using, this is actually alpaca silk, not silk mohair. I'm using alpaca silk for the russamine, and I'm actually holding 2 strands of these slightly different shades together, because you need that fluff to fill up those, you know, those strands that you pull across the right side. So this is what I'm using. I really love this alpaca. I wish we could get it. It's from Drops. It's just called alpaca silk. And the rest of the fluff in the brown background is mohair. So I've put this aside for a while. I really want to finish my Cecil, and I do know that I'm probably just procrastinating for the next section that I have to do on this one of the russamine. I don't even know if I'm saying it properly, but I do see that somebody's, I don't know what country it's in, but it might be in Europe. Look, it's actually very pretty. It's very, very pretty. I think I was showing you the wrong side. But it's going to be very natural and quite lovely. So I'm about to do, sorry, I've got a very croaky voice. I'm about to do the next set of flowers. And that will happen sometime. Besides that, yeah, I'm just looking forward to arrive today. And I started off the video by showing you gorgeous fireplace that's set up in the lounge here in this beautiful house where I'm staying. And it's a really cold day, and I just landed, made the fire, made a big pot of veg soup, and came and sat in the lounge and just got stuck into the spinning, which wasn't really my idea. My idea was to get stuck into my Cecil shawl, but I will do that a bit later on. So I'm not wearing a sweater because I got a bit warm with all the moving around and making the fire, but now I'm feeling a bit chilly. I've got a very simple cowl, which is just a sort of tube that I designed myself, that started and went a bit wide, and it's made out of a katia, self-striping, thickish, fluffy, lovely. I think I've had this also for quite a few years. I wear it with everything. It goes underneath my things, and pull it up and pull my hat down over it. Yeah, if it's not this, then I'm wearing my my Vertices Unite. The small Vertices Unite I've found is like my little Linus blanket. I can't live without it. But today it's somewhere else. So I think that is really all I wanted to share with you today. Yeah, there's been a lot of action of all sorts I've seen. I watch a lot of podcasts, and people are all really getting into all sorts of interesting things. I've bought some wonderful summer patterns that I'm really dying to do and sort of biting my fingers to not get started. And one is the Helix top from Jessie May Designs. I'm saving that for when I go to India in November. I'm going to be buying some beautiful linen, pure linen, so I want to make that. And yeah, I've got a couple of other things on my queue. I actually reduced my queue on Ravelry to 50 a few days ago. There were just actually quite a few of them I'd made already and just never taken off, so put those back on. Then there also seems to have been this huge revival of the Barbie movie, which is not interesting me whatsoever. I do remember a time when Barbie was really not something to be aspired to. This hourglass shape, perfect blonde little doll. But I don't know, everybody's going mad about Barbie. Not part of my world, not part of my world at all. I am just keeping cozy, keeping warm, making myself some lovely, nurturing, comforting foods. I like to cook some Indian, slightly spicy foods. So I cook dal, which is lentils, various different forms. My favorite is yellow mung dal, which I can just eat day in and day out in many different forms with some lovely basmati rice and curd and a bit of salad and lots of coriander leaves and yes, just going to have 2 months here just to dive into all the things that I want to do, that I can do, totally uninterrupted, and make lots of fires. And to me, there's nothing better than that. I can't think of anything I'd rather be doing. So that's, you'll be seeing me back. I'll be back again. Funny, June was a very strange month for me. July. I was not very inspired. I normally love making the podcasts. I was not inspired, and I was very bored with all the podcasts I was watching, so I stopped watching podcasts. I kind of gave it a break and reorganized my stash and you know, ended up buying some yarns with some plans for the next 2 months. I'm going to be having a big shawl sale event at the beginning of November, just before I go to India. So I'm preparing for that, and I'm really enjoying that. So thank you for coming along today. I'm sorry, I don't know if anybody misses me. I'm not quite sure. But I have actually noticed quite a few of my favorite podcasters have also been MIA, which means missing in action, if you didn't know that. But I guess it's probably because it's been summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Lots of people have been on holiday and have had other things to do. But I just did not feel very motivated to be showing what I was doing. I was sort of in between a whole lot of things. I also wasn't in a very fantastic, inspiring mood, and I have been very busy organizing my trip, which takes a lot of pre-organizing months in advance. When I take a tour to India, I have to start making all my bookings at least 3 months in advance, especially the train bookings. So I've been focusing mostly on that. And now I'm up to date, and now I feel like I can just play with yarn and with color, and I'll be showing you what I'm doing. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, I'd be most grateful if you did. It's very helpful to grow the channel. I've been going for over a year now, a year and a couple of months, and it would seem that the viewership of South African podcasters somehow is not as high as that of the American or European ones, although I watch those all the time. In fact, I have to just tell you that my favorite podcast of the moment is Finnish Knitting Stories. with Jana. And Jana, moi, moi. I love the way Jana starts her podcast with the word moi, which I believe means hello, but in our Afrikaans language, it means beautiful or nice or pretty. So anyway, she is really beautiful and nice and pretty. She knits the most gorgeous stuff. She does beautiful wool. She knits the cutest little frog with the outfits to die for. And she knows how to use neons paired with neutrals and mohairs. I don't know if you've seen her. She's knitted this incredible dress out of mohair stripes. What is it called? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, go and take a look at Finnish Knitting Stories. And if you do, please pass on my regards. I can't wait for her to have her weekly podcast. In fact, I watched her last night, and she's just great fun. I love her environment. She has this beautiful, beautiful wallpaper in her studio, and she's always wearing some lovely bright colors. And yes, and we also get to see a bit of that faraway place called Finland. And yes, I actually, by the way, will have some very exciting acquisition arriving next month from Norway via a friend of a friend. I have ordered some Rauma Finul, which I've seen and heard and looked at on the website ad nauseum. There are so many colors. So I've taken sort of a little sample batch, 2 50-gram balls of 4 different colors, of course all in my brown, orange, red range, and I'm going to give that a try with the possibility of getting more. It's a non-superwash. I'm very into the non-superwash at the moment, and I'm looking forward to receiving that and seeing how that goes. So I wish everybody a very lovely week. It's Monday, and I never podcast on a Monday, but have a beautiful week. Tomorrow's Tuesday, the 1st of August. There is a full moon tomorrow, and there is another full moon in August on the 30th. It's called a blue moon when there are 2 full moons in the same month. The full moon tomorrow is in Aquarius. And I understand that there are a number of planets in retrograde, including Mars and Venus. So who knows what we're in for this August. But wishing you all the best and happy crafting. And thank you for visiting. Take care. Bye.